G'day Guardians, Roguey here, and today we're going to be mixing things up a bit and do our first PvP focused video, highlighting the Hunter exotic Shinobu's Vow. Shinobu's Vow has been in Destiny since the release of Curse of Osiris back in 2017, and since then is sat in my vault collecting dust. The skip/swarm grenade archetype was, for the longest time, my least favourite grenade in the game, favouring others like Incendiary, Arcbolt, and Vortex. Shinobu's Vow really caught my eye back in Season of the Splicer. When combined with the seasonal artifact mod, Impulse Recycler, you had nearly 100% uptime on a skip grenade that would relentlessly hunt down any combatant in sight. I had a ton of fun mindlessly nade spamming for the entire season, but as Impulse Recycler cycled out back into the vault when Shinobu's Vow. So what made me want to dust off Shinobu's Vow and bring it into PvP of all places? Trials labs, that's what. With the addition of an early capture point in Trials and on the map Wormhaven, the skip nade is such a valuable option for smoking out Guardians from behind walls or trying to capture the flag. Now, unfortunately, I didn't actually record my Trials games last weekend as my fire team wanted to get on early in the morning, get that flawless passage before the Halo Infinite flight test started, and in my groggy state of around 7 AM, I just simply forgot to hit record. So all the footage we're going to be using for this video is from this week's Iron Banner, but the goal of today's video remains the same, showcasing Shinobu's Vow skip grenade as a solid choice in the current PvP meta. Now, I don't consider myself very good at Destiny 2's PvP. The fast-paced shotgun sliding and overall verticality of most fights leaves me spinning around in circles, wondering where that Warlock just Icarus dashed to. So take my opinion with a grain of glimmer. This video is for all the other average PvP players looking to take on the long and arduous journey to the lighthouse and need a bit of a heat-seeking helping hand. So let's start with my loadout for today. I recommend having a mix of long and short range in the form of a sniper rifle and a sidearm. I'll be using Shepherd's Watch with moving target and snapshot sights and punching out with rangefinder and high impact reserves. Skip nade greatly complements this pairing of weapons, taking off enemy shields for a quick body shot from the snipe or getting the extra damage needed to win a mid-range fight with the sidearm. It just occurred to me, we haven't really spoken about what Shinobu's Vow exotic perk is. It's a pretty simple one by today's standards, granting us an extra skip grenade and returning grenade energy for any damage done by the grenade. It also improves the overall tracking and speed of the Seekers. This improved tracking is what lets us fully abuse the skip grenade and opens up a variety of new use cases, while the grenade refund on damage allows us to throw out more grenades. When running this loadout, you want to be leaning primarily on your sniper rifle, positioning yourself at the long stretches, maintaining a good line of sight while slowly but surely pushing up, supporting your teammates. While getting that headshot will always be the preferred outcome, hitting a body shot, forcing our opponent to take cover is a great outcome also. This is the first instance of where the skip grenade really comes into play, while the weakened enemy awaits for their shield to regen, scared and cowering behind the first piece of cover they can find. We unleash an army of ravenous seekers upon them. No escape, 1+ kill. When your long-range options have been exhausted, it's time to bring out the trusty sidearm. Use the skip nade to check corners. Typically, an opponent will panic and try to relocate once the Seekers start to deal damage, so keep an eye out for any numbers popping up, then force your advantage. Punching out is a great choice for this, as its full auto frame and deep clip allows for an easy follow-up. Now, I was lucky enough to get rangefinder on my punching out, so it does give me a little bit more of an advantage when taking on those mid to close range fights, but in any case, an SMG will do the trick as well, so it really comes down to what close range options you prefer. The next use case I heavily lean on, it's a bit of a cop-out, but just throwing out your skip grenade whenever you feel like it. Hear a fight taking place on the other side of the wall, throw a skip grenade at the entry point and watch those assists rack up. The exotic perk also giving us back energy upon damage. Seeing a capture point being taken by the opposition, throw a skip grenade in their general direction to scare them. The versatility of this exotic is where the real value comes from. With so many other grenade options, you really have to think about how and when you're going to use it? Are you going to use an AoE grenade to block off a retreat or cover an entrance? Are you going to use that high impact grenade to go for that big burst of damage? The skip grenade does both. You can throw it in any situation, and because of how ravenous those seekers are, how accurate they are at chasing down the opponents, it's going to be a great option in any position. The last thing to keep in mind, which can give you a massive advantage, is being able to store those 2 skip grenades. Think about it. This is something your opponent will rarely ever take into consideration when approaching a firefight. Now, they may have maneuvered well enough around the first grenade, maybe taking minimal damage or getting behind cover in time, but this is where they could get overconfident, position themselves aggressively, and open up for a face full of seekers. This can be the difference maker when it comes down to winning those important 1v1s. Now, let's be real here. While Shinobu's Vow is a far cry from being the greatest PvP exotic in Destiny, it is a great deal of fun, and when used correctly, will win you a couple of clutch rounds. The other thing I like to take in consideration here is, with the majority of opponents you'll be facing in Trials being a Revenant Hunter, I think like 8 out of 10 players you come across a Revenant Hunter, running Middle Tree Arc Strider is actually a valuable option here, making use of that Whirlwind Blade to send the squall back at our opponents. And that's that. Our first dive into a PvP focused video. Matt and I are wishing you all good luck on your next flawless runs, and when deciding on which loadout you want to run for the weekend, why not give Shinobu's Vow a try? Until next time, Guardians.